But when I see we're falling to the ground, caught up in a dream, I believe we could be a whole, like you will see. See that you could afford to set us all free. 'Cause I make fools of us, especially me. And all this I see the constant violence overseas. And all I want to believe is we can save this place and breathe. So don't tell me that it's all fine. Don't see that it's all right. And don't promise that you'll help tomorrow. Please help tonight. When I say we're falling to the ground, pick up the pieces now. Pick up the pieces now.
Be so strong, but when I see you, it's been so long, taken to a better place. I know you say it hurts, but you hurt me with your words, and all this has made it worse. Looking for the better days, it's in the dark corner of the room where I'm hiding my nightmares, and I know that it's not up to you, but can't find the truth.
Good evening and welcome to St Katharine's virtual open evening for our 2021 intake. We are very glad that so many of you are able to join us this evening. My name is Matthew Moore. I'm one of the Deputy Head Teachers at St Katharine's, and I'm joined this evening by Mr Humphreys, our Head Teacher, Miss Richards, our Deputy Head Teacher for Teaching and Learning, and two of our Assistant Head Teachers, Mr Francis Black and Mrs Crocker. You will hear from all of us this evening about what makes St Katharine's such a special place to study and to work. We will be recording the session to allow those who couldn't join us this evening to watch it at a later date. If you wish to ask any questions during the presentation, please use the Q&A feature, which you'll see towards the bottom of your screen, and we will then collate those questions and attempt to answer as many as possible in the latter part of the evening. I would like to first start by showing you two very short videos. You'll hear initially from Neil Blundell, the CEO of Cathedral Schools Trust. One of the great strengths of St Katharine's is that we do not stand alone as a school. We form part of the Cathedral Schools Trust, which is a multi-academy trust spanning primary and secondary schools. This means that we're able to draw on the strengths of hundreds of teachers across the local area, including primary colleagues, who can support us with ensuring a smooth and successful transition into our Year 7.
Welcome to Cathedral Schools Trust. I'm Neil Blundell and I'm the CEO. Cathedral Schools Trust is a family of schools. It's a family of 7 schools, 3 secondary and 4 primary. And at the heart of everything that we're trying to achieve is improving teaching and leadership. We all know the difference that a great teacher makes to the lives of children. And so we're constantly looking at how we can make teaching and learning better for our children. If something wonderful is happening in the classroom, in any classroom at St Katharine's School, then we want Cathedral School teachers and Trinity Academy teachers to know all about that and to talk about it. Similarly at Headley Park School or Victoria Park School, where practice is its best, we want Cathedral Primary School and Stoke Park Primary School to be talking about that and sharing that expertise and that great practice. And then outside of the classroom, the big question for us is how we can make the learning experience deeper for our children by working in collaboration. That might be a concert in this magnificent cathedral. Every year, our annual music concert, where secondary and primary children gather together to make some extraordinary music. But it could be a whole host of things, from the Duke of Edinburgh Awards to the deep experiences and trips that we offer to all of our young people. It's a wonderful place to be, and I hope that you find this evening a really engaging one and that you find out more about our schools.
I've joined St Katharine's relatively recently, only in April of this year. I moved across from one of our sister schools in the Trust, Bristol Cathedral Choir School. And one of the things that's really struck me on coming onto the school is the site. We're a rural school with excellent facilities, and we are set in beautiful surroundings. The view over the Somerset countryside in the morning cannot fail to inspire. We would absolutely love to welcome you all onto site so that you could see for yourselves what there is on offer. Unfortunately, given the current challenges facing schools, we're unable to do so. So we have instead prepared a short video to give you a virtual tour of the school.
Hello and welcome to St Katharine's. I'm going to take you on a quick tour of the school.
Good evening and welcome to St Katharine's. I'm Justin Humphreys, head teacher at St Katharine's. It's a real shame we're not meeting in person this year and unable to welcome you to our truly superb site on Saturday as previously planned, but thank you all for joining us this evening. We hope this evening gives you a flavour of life at St Katharine's, what we're about and what we focus on in educating our wonderful young people. We talk about St Katharine's standing on three pillars: people, community and excellence. The people are what makes St. Catherine's a great school. We focus on our vision of developing the whole child with high levels of achievement, resilient attitudes, and a healthy mind, body, spirit, and individual character. We work with our students as individuals and offer a curriculum and experiences to draw out their qualities and to allow each individual to shine. Our committed and passionate teachers and staff share their expertise and life experiences to inspire, challenge, and encourage our young people to do their best each day. We build strong relationships and trusting and respectful relationships that develop across a 7-year journey with us. Our students are truly our greatest asset, and you'll hear from some this evening. Our community is structured into our 4 houses to bring a great sense of identity and belonging, a sense of family within each house and each tutor group within that, all the way from year 7 to year 13. We keep each other safe at all times, working together as Team St. Catherine's, catching each other when we fall, working closely with each of our families. We educate and celebrate the wonderful diversity at St. Catherine's and work together as a community to drive change forward. As I say to the staff and the students, we are a mini world within the world, and that makes St. Catherine's a great place for a young person to grow up. Our friendly and supportive environment and ethos within our community is critical in developing our young people. We learn together, succeed together, and inspire excellence. Striving for excellence is reflected in the way our teachers and staff encourage our students to aim high and improve on their previous best. Our students achieve well with great exam results at both GCSE and A levels over recent years, and 2 of our favourite days in our calendar are certainly celebrating student successes in August. Our positive progress 8 score over the last 3 years shows we make better than average progress across the 8 best subjects, and something we continue to stretch ourselves as we strive for even greater success for our young people. We value the progress and achievement of all our students and recognise the importance of them doing their absolute best to allow them to pursue their aspirations in life. So in summary, what do we want in our students? We want individuals who are fully alive as human beings with great individual character, wrapped up in our values, which we encourage and challenge both our students and staff to live and breathe each day. So when a St. Catherine's student walks through the gates of St. Catherine's for the last time, they are truly equipped to take on the challenges in our world. So how do we achieve this? We achieve this through our curriculum. There's been pressure on the arts curriculums over recent years, and we remain absolutely committed to our broad and balanced curriculum, providing great opportunities and pathways to all our young people, from year 7 to GCSEs and into our 6th form. So let's hear from some of our students and see what they think.
Hi, my name's Cosmo. I live in Bristol and I used to go to Knoll Park Primary School. I like maths because it's very intricate and has a lot of problem solving, and I'm really good at that.
Hi, my name's Hope Roberts and I went to St Bernard's Catholic Primary School. I live in Shirehampton, Bristol, and I really like English because all the English teachers are really encouraging. You can do lots of extracurricular clubs in English, including Doctor Who Club, Poetry Club, Creative Writing Club, and lots of others.
Hi, my name is Stephen. I went to State Bishop Primary School and I'm from Bristol. I like science because it is fun, it is interesting, and also you learn a lot.
Hi, my name is Megan Sami. I went to Hannibal Primary School. I live in Bristol. I really like MFL because it offers you French and Spanish. I'm taking French, which is better than Spanish. I like French because it really gives me helps me with my pronunciation. I can speak Somali and I speak a little bit of Arabic, so it really helps me with my French.
My name is Morgan. I went to Hallfield Primary School. I live in Bristol, and I like science because it's a really fascinating subject. You get to learn lots, especially in this school. The teachers are really lovely, and I just find it one of the most amazing subjects.
Hi, I'm Jo Crawford and I'm from Hillcrest Primary School and I live in the Knoll area in Bristol. And I really enjoy this library because we have a variety of different genres and books that everyone can enjoy.
Hello, my name is Evie and I live in Pill and I came from Crookham Primary School to St Catherine's. History is a cool lesson because you can learn about the past and the past influence today.
so you can find out all these things that happened and you can relate them back to some of your ancestors.
Hi, my name is Frank McCann. I went to Crockham Primary School and I live in Easton in Gordana. Food tech is a very good subject because it teaches you how to cook and is a very good skill to have.
Hello guys, my name is Bilal and I live in Bristol. My old school was May Park Primary School, and I like French a lot because it helps with pronunciation, and it also helps you like when you grow older, like you want to live in France, like you can speak French to them. So, yeah.
Hi, I'm Edie. I went to Ashton Gate Primary School and I live in Bedminster, and I really like engineering because it uses practical skills but it's also quite creative.
Hi, I'm Charlie Taylor. I'm from Ashton Gate Primary School and I like art because it's really creative and it gives you loads of choices and things you want to do after school.
Hi, my name is Hetty Cleaver. I'm in Year 11. I'm from Southampton and I went to Southampton Primary School. I studied performing arts and I really enjoy it because we get to dance and act and sing and work in groups.
Another thing about English that I like is like debates, and where you get to express your opinion and contradict it with others, and you really get to like explore and see other people's beliefs and what they think about a certain text and stuff.
I love St Katherine because it is a fun and it's a very nice environment also, and there's lots of lovely people including the teachers.
We love St Katharine's because it has a lot of outdoor space and the facilities are very good.
Wonderful to hear the voices of our students this evening, even though we're not all together. Families choose St Katharine's for all these reasons, and regardless of which primary school a student arrives from, they achieve success and pursue their individual pathways, you can see from the examples on your screen. We took time to name our houses 2 years ago, and we are proud of each of our houses and what they stand for. Each house is named after a leader who has stood tall and made a difference to our world. Let's meet some of our house leaders and students.
Good evening everyone and welcome to St Katharine's School. I'm Eleanor Tuckwell and this is Olivia Wilshire and we're the house leaders of USOSI. Last year we won the House Championship in 2020. Each house has a set of morals, ethos and values that determines how we are at St Katharine's.
USOSI House is named after Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala Yousafzai. Our motto is our education is like a diamond, treasure it.
Hi, I'm Miss Andrews and I'm head of USOSI House. USOSI House is named after Malala Yousafzai. Malala Yousafzai is from North Pakistan and she, at the age of 15, fought for the right for herself and for other girls to go to school. She was shot in the head and she survived, and then she went on to go to Oxford University and has just graduated. She's fought for the right for herself and for other girls to have the right to be able to go to school and to have an education. In USOSI House, we value our education like it is a diamond. We treasure it and we make the most of every opportunity that we have. We try and we strive to be the best versions of ourselves, to be the best people that we can be.
Turing House is named after the revolutionary mathematician Alan Turing. Our house motto is create the impossible.
Hello, I'm Mrs Price, head of Turing House, named after Alan Turing, the father of modern computing and the greatest icon of the 21st century. We've adopted house values that were epitomised by Turing. The first, determination. Turing persevered for 2 years, the time it took to break the Nazi Enigma code during the Second World War, which led to thousands of lives being saved across Europe. Despite the importance of his achievements, Turing was cast out by the authorities for being homosexual. This is why our other values are unity and acceptance. Following Turing's example, our house motto is create the impossible. And ethos, the strength of the team is each individual member, the strength of each member is the team.
Stevenson House is named after Bristol activist Paul Stevenson. Our motto is, from adversity comes progress.
Hello, my name is Mr Thomas and I am head of Stevenson House. Stevenson House is named after Paul Stevenson, who is a local activist in Bristol, who paved the way for the Race Relations Act. Our values in Stevenson House are the red values, which represents our colours, but also 3 values that are really important to us and represent everything about what Paul Stevenson's about, which is respect, equality and determination. Our motto is "From adversity comes progress," and that's something that we hold true to in our house.
Pankhurst House is named after suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst. Our motto is "Deeds not words."
Hello, my name is Mr Murdoch. I'm the head of Pankhurst House. Our house is named after Emmeline Pankhurst, the pioneering feminist campaigner who was part of the movement, the suffragette movement that got women the right to vote. Our motto of the house is "Deeds not words," which is a quote from Pankhurst herself, and it shows what's important is what we do, not what we say we're going to do. And I always talk about being defined by our actions, so our actions are really important. Our three key qualities that we look to try and develop are passion, perseverance and pride.
The best thing about our house system is the sports competitions.
The best thing about our house system is that there's a competition for everyone.
The best thing about our house system is that our leaders inspire us.
I know St Catherine's cares about us because the teachers are always there to listen.
And they're always there to talk to.
One of the many positive developments that we've made at St Catherine's over recent years is the introduction of our houses. These are questions that I ask myself each day. I walk around the school with my team, constantly challenging our thinking, and no doubt these are important questions for you too, as you look to find the right secondary school for your child. We were looking forward to Ofsted visiting us last year to validate the progress that we've made over recent years, but we'll have to wait now until next year. Our wonderful school show on the slide there, reflecting our community ethos with over 100 students represented from year 7 to year 13. A great event in our calendar. We encourage all our students to complete the Duke of Edinburgh Award, and Mr Hodgson leads our outdoor education across the school with a full calendar of opportunities to challenge the most daring young person. We talk about sport being in our DNA at St Catherine's, and we're proud of 95% of students taking part in at least one sport, developing their character, teamwork, resilience, and how to win and lose gracefully, of course. Another reason why families choose St Catherine's as their first option. Our Sports Award evening is another favourite in the St Catherine's calendar, as you can see there from last year. And this map illustrates the wide geographical area where students travel from, and they make this daily journey to St Catherine's to take advantage of the education opportunities we provide on our incredible site here at Ham Green. We now have a single provider servicing all our bus routes to the school, as well as the public bus service from First Bus. And finally, we're not perfect, and should we not get everything right every time, we do listen and we work closely with our families and their feedback to improve further. Our Parent Carer Association is an active body that's been really invaluable to the school in representing both parent carer voices and supporting and challenging the progress that we've made over recent years. So we're grateful for their support from our Parent Carer Association. I will now leave you in the hands of my colleague, Ms Richards, Deputy Head Teacher, who will show you a greater insight into our curriculum. Ms Richards.
Thank you, Mr Humphreys. It's lovely to speak to you all this evening, and just such a shame we couldn't see you in person. But just to talk to you a little bit about our curriculum and our enrichment offer. So we're really proud of the curriculum and enrichment programme that we offer here at St Catherine's, and it's a really integral part of everything we do. We aim to provide a rich, broad and balanced curriculum for all of our students, but also an extensive range of extracurricular activities. We firmly believe that all of our students should have the opportunity to try something new and to frequently have a different experience. So our extracurricular opportunities are built both within the curriculum and the school day, for example in year 7 and 8, but also, as Mr Humphreys has already mentioned and some of our students mentioned, we have a great range of clubs at lunchtime and after school. We firmly believe that having the opportunity to try something new, such as Latin, chess, outdoor education, debating, really helps our students to continue to progress and further their education. Whilst we really encourage our students to continue humanities and languages at Key Stage 4, we also provide a fantastic range of vocational and academic subjects. And you can see just on the screen now some of the ones that we offer at the moment in year 10. But I think it's really important to say that actually that's not set in stone. We look at that every year and we look at what's best for our students and shape our curriculum offer, particularly Key Stage 4 and 5, so that our students make the best possible progress and have the best experiences they can at our school. We do share a curriculum guide for each of our subjects, so if you would like to know more about the different information that is provided within subjects and the learning that takes place, please do have a look at the website. And whilst we'd have absolutely loved to invite you in to see the fantastic learning environment that we have at St Katharine's, unfortunately we can't, so we've put a short video together for you to sort of feel that experience now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Miss Daniels. Welcome to the Maths Department of St Katharine's. We start with a really exciting algebra topic, because you won't have done much of that at primary school before. And you'll also have, running alongside that, we do TT Rockstars, which some of you will have seen before, so you have a chance to get your skills up and get all of your points and try and beat the championship level. We use Hegarty Maths as well for our online platforms. Running alongside those will then be checking in with how you're doing with your number work in class, and still looking at some of the topics you've seen before with your shapes, so geometry, ratio and proportion, but really focusing on that number work and algebra when you join us in year 7.
Hello, I'm Mrs Ivy, I'm Head of Science at St Katharine's. We're really looking forward to welcoming you here next year. Science is an amazing subject. You'll get to learn all about your body, how your body works, the world around you and the universe. We've got loads of nice teachers who are really supportive and ready to show you demonstrations and do practical work with you and have a great time. Look forward to seeing you in September.
There's some bigger ones. There you go. Size doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
okay, so
I feel like submerge my hand into.
There's just.
Hello, my name is Miss Cave and I'm currently Head of Humanities. The humanities subjects at St Katharine's involve history, geography and philosophy and belief, and at A-level psychology. These subjects are really exciting to learn and we can't wait for you to come and join us. Mainly the subjects involve asking lots of questions, exploring lots of different cultures and the world around us. Can't wait to see you!
Remind me, what do we mean by hierarchical order?
I'm just going to write it down now, isn't it? You just got to put it, yeah, go on. What's going on? You're going to write it? Yeah. I just want to see George.
I'm Mr. Bates, Head of Computing and Business here at St Katharine's School. I'd like to welcome you to my department. Well, first of all, we offer 1 hour a fortnight of timetabled curriculum time. During that time, we'll teach you the key skills. Initially, we'll get you up and running with the systems. We'll get you logged on your very first lessons. We will teach you how to file things appropriately, because in this school here we use Google Classroom, and as a result you use lots of files, lots of computer time in your lessons. It's really useful to be able to order your files in a logical way.
What were the key specifications that must be included in your design?
Hi, my name's Miss Adams and I'm Head of Music here at St Katharine's. I've been here for 10 years. Music's a really exciting subject here. You'll get to study music in your tutor group. You get to study a really wide range of different music and music from different cultures as well. There's lots of practical opportunities, so you'll be doing work with instruments in lessons. You'll also get a chance to be performing and composing in music lessons.
Hello, welcome to Performing Arts. I'm Mrs Collins. I'm the Head of Drama and Performing Arts here at St Katharine's School. Really looking forward to seeing you. A couple of things about drama that you should know. We study a range of different topics. We look at music in drama and we also look at dance. We've got loads of opportunities for clubs and enrichment, and we put on lots of school musicals annually. And we also have school trips that we go and see live theatre, we're looking at dance productions and things that you can get involved in yourself.
Thank you, Ms Richards. I hope that the video you saw there of some of the key members of staff at school has demonstrated to you the caring nature of St Catherine's. Pastoral care is absolutely central to what we do. We believe it underpins academic success. We really pride ourselves on knowing our children and knowing our families. The size and the character of our school allows for strong relationships between pupils, staff and home. This triangulated relationship is absolutely key to success. Mr Humphrey spoke earlier about our house system. Our heads of house are supported by 2 deputies and a wide range of tutors. They work together to support the students pastorally and academically as they move through the school from year 7 right up to year 13. The pastoral team are also very heavily involved in the transition process from primary schools, and they'll normally visit our feeder primaries before September. We are, in this current time, yet to see what the arrangements will be able to put in place this year, given that most schools are currently advising against visitors to sites, but please be assured that whatever we are able to do, we will do, and that we will be there to support transition in the best possible way. We have a transition manager, Julie Ball, highly experienced in supporting children as they move from year 6 to year 7, and she will be a key figure as your children move up to St Catherine's. We speak with all year 6 teachers to ensure that we're able to recognise children as individuals from their very first day with us. Our send or pastoral team would be able to provide additional support to any children who have additional needs or who have particular concerns or anxieties about transition. We meet as tutor groups daily, and we follow whole school programmes that are focused on the holistic education of the child. We've also introduced a daily drop having and read session into our tutor times, which recognises the high value that we place on literacy across the school. We are incredibly proud of the strength of our pastoral team at St Catherine's, and we really look forward to welcoming your children into one of our fantastic houses. At St Catherine's, we hold the highest expectations of ourselves as teaching staff and of our children as students. These are embodied in the 3 core values which you can see on the screen at the moment. We expect all students to demonstrate responsibility through arriving at lessons ready to learn. This means they're equipped, they're engaged and they're enthused. It's in this way that we ensure that all children at St Catherine's receive the high quality education which is their right. We believe that education is not purely academic. We focus on the whole child and we expect our students to learn to be respectful. That's towards themselves and to others. We teach resilience and we expect our students to demonstrate that quality. Secondary education opens doors for children and we're keenly aware that they only get one opportunity. We encourage children to keep trying, not to give up when they're struggling, and to embrace the odd failure as a stepping stone on the path to success. We're also very proud of the SEND provision that we have at St Catherine's. We have a very experienced team of learning support assistants, which is led by our SENCO, Flora Slater. Her role is to ensure that all children at St Catherine's reach their full potential, no matter the barriers they may face in accessing education. The SEND team work incredibly closely with the primary schools before September to ensure that we're aware of any specialist provision that a child may need to support them in their learning. We know that transition from primary school can be particularly challenging for some children with additional needs, and Mrs Slater will work with primaries and families to make that move as smooth as possible. The SEND team also collaborate with classroom teachers to differentiate resources. They work with our heads of faculty to support them with preparing a SEND-friendly curriculum across the school, and they work well with external agencies to provide highly specialised support for those that need it. SEND support plans are put in place for individual students, which detail practical measures that teachers can adopt to support the children in class. Mrs Slater absolutely welcomes contact from prospective parents, and she's normally incredibly happy to welcome year 6s into school to show them and their parents the provision that we offer. Things are slightly different this year due to restrictions in place on visitors in school, but should you have any questions whatsoever on SEND provision or on how we might be able to support your child, please do contact her via the email address showing on the screen now. She would absolutely welcome that. I will pass you now to Mrs Crocker, our assistant head teacher and designated safeguarding lead.
Good evening, everyone. Keeping children safe is our #1 priority at St Catherine's School, and we work hard to make sure that our children are happy, healthy and protected from harm. When children feel safe, when they are safe, they're able to learn and thrive. And at St Catherine's School, safeguarding is everyone's responsibility. That extends to everyone in our school community. That's the staff, the children themselves and their families. We work in partnership with external agencies, as well as providing a vast range of support for children who are facing difficulties in school, to make sure that they're supported and protected, to access expert and bespoke support, help and guidance whenever it's needed. Our current situation throws into sharp focus the need for us to equip our students with the skills and dispositions to make sure that they can weather whatever their future throws at them. We've welcomed students back to school after a period of closure with a renewed focus on our responsibility as a school to explicitly teach children about resilience, about their response to adversity, but also about self-efficacy. We are optimistic at St. Catherine's. We believe children can overcome with perseverance. And it's our response to adversity and our belief that we will prevail that gives us hope for a bright future for all St. Catherine's students. Key feature of the work of the pastoral team this year has developed leadership skills in children to equip them with the confidence and self-belief to tackle whatever their future holds, to emerge as happy and prosperous adults. And we talk to children about their leadership of self. We expect high expectations of students to arrive to school every day, ready to learn, to be responsible. So we talk to them about leadership of self. We also expect our students to lead one another. We value highly the ability of students to role model behaviours for one another, but we also value giving children responsibility, giving them permission to lead on projects in school. And we value all styles of leadership. We champion introverted leaders as well as those who find joy in the spotlight. And at St. Catherine's, we pride ourselves on finding an opportunity for everyone to find what they're good at, to take responsibility, to lead and make a difference. Talking of leadership, I'm excited to hear from our newly appointed lead students. Let's hear from them now, and after that, we'll take your questions.
Hello, I'm Ellie, and I'm delighted to introduce myself as head student. St. Catherine's School has always been a place where I feel at home, I feel heard and valued, and I think that's really important for a school and a community. I can't wait to get started as head student, and my main focus is making sure everyone feels compassionate and feels together and feels like we're still a community even in these times.
Hi, I'm Steph, and I'm one of the head students at St. Catherine's. This school's played a massive role in the person I am today, and I feel like they've always given me a place to be myself. As head student, I'm really excited to promote diversity and make the school experience as enjoyable for everyone else as it has been for me. Ellie and I can't wait to get started to make St. Catherine's an even better place to learn and to thrive together.
Thank you everybody, and we can't wait to see you soon.
Okay, everybody, we have approximately 16 questions, I think, in the Q&A at the moment. If you wish to ask a question, just dip down to the bottom of your screen and you should find the Q&A button down there, and you can type your question in. I'm going to direct some of the questions now to key members of staff. So the first question, which Mr. Humphreys is going to answer, is there a catchment area in applying for St. Catherine's, as we're applying from South Gloss Council?
Thank you, Mr. Francis. So there is no direct catchment area for St. Catherine's School, and we ask all parents to apply to their home authority. So for example, if you live in Bristol, then you would apply to Bristol Local Authority. If you live in South Gloucestershire, you would apply through South Gloucestershire Local Authority. And then in North Somerset, you would apply through North Somerset. So there is no catchment area, and we welcome students from the surrounding areas.
Okay, and Ms. Humphreys, you mentioned Ofsted in your words. Are you due an Ofsted inspection soon?
Yeah, so we were expecting Ofsted to visit us back in March 2020. That was the 2-year anniversary from our previous report, which no doubt you will have read thoroughly. So we were expecting them then, obviously, because of the situation that has been delayed. They are currently suspended, as many of you will know, but we are obviously expecting those to resume in January, and we look forward to welcoming them in the latter half of this academic year.
And what are the key areas for development that you've been working on since the last Ofsted inspection?
Thank you. Yeah, so I would pick 3 key areas for that. So the number 1 area I would say is the climate for learning. So Mr. Moore just referred to our three core values of respect, responsibility, and resilience. So making sure that we have a consistent approach within the classroom and that climate in the classroom, which we know is so important for effective learning to take place for all students. So that now is embedded in the school, and things like low-level disruption are dealt with very, very swiftly in lessons and are not tolerated, and that applies to all our students. And we work with those students who have needs to make sure reasonable adjustments are made within that programme. The second point that I would refer to is the teaching and learning. So we now make sure that all groups are making great progress in the school. So in our last report, there were specific groups highlighted that weren't making as much progress as the other groups. And now we're absolutely delighted that all our students make excellent progress. And that's reflected in our Progress 8 score over the last 3 years, which has been positive. And all subjects making at least good progress. And that's at both GCSE and A level. With some really, really strong results over recent years. And the year before last, the A-level results strongest within the local 4 counties as well, which we're particularly proud of.
Okay, we've got a couple of questions regarding sports, which I think Miss Richards will be able to answer. So what are the main sports teams? And then my son isn't very interested in sport. Are the not so sporty children equally encouraged?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Francis Black. So we've got a fantastic range of sports that we provide both within the lessons, but also extracurricular opportunities. So teams, for example, rugby, rounders, netball, football, hockey, cricket. So a huge range there for students to engage with. And in lessons, we also look at things like basketball, badminton, whatever it is. So there's lots of different opportunities, both clubs, teams, and within the curriculum. In terms of the question about whether if you're not sporty, if there's something for you, of course, we absolutely encourage all of our students equally. And I hope you could see from the offer that we have, for example, at Key Stage 4, that there's a fantastic range of subjects for students to study, but also our enrichment offer ensures that students can look at things like Latin or some of the creative subjects and have different opportunities, whether it's through the shows and the musicals, whether it's about making the props for those, fantastic things that they can get involved with, no matter what they enjoy doing and no matter what they want to continue to do.
Thank you. Mr. Moore, how do you support children with an EHCP?
We have, really there are as many answers to this as there are children, because it depends completely on the need of the child. So we have a significantly increased SEND department over the course of this year, actually. We've just recently taken on 2 more LSAs to bolster it further. Any children with an EHCP, we will work through the EHCP. We will often actually be the ones that obtain the EHCP for the student. We'll then work through looking at what the need of the child is, and we make reasonable adjustments in every case. So that it may be that a child requires one-to-one support in the classroom. And if that's the situation, we'll be able to provide that. It may be that there's some withdrawal support. It may be some form of alternative curriculum that a child needs. It really does depend on the child. So it's a very difficult question to answer, but we work very closely with parents, with the local authority as well, to ensure that any child, whether they have an EHCP or not, because many children with special educational needs don't carry an EHCP with them. But in any case, we work with every child to ensure that the barriers that they face to accessing the education that we can provide are removed, and that they're able then to join in with the mainstream class to whatever extent they're able.
And on a similar note, how does the Ready to Learn policy apply to students with SEND?
So the Ready to Learn policy has been one of the real successes actually at St Katharine's over the last couple of years. As I said earlier, I joined St Katharine's fairly recently, and Ready to Learn was brought in to reduce low-level disruption in the classroom. We've seen such a significant reduction in that we've decided this year we will alter the policy, and we've significantly reduced the amount of time now out of the class that a child will spend if there are any concerns over low-level disruption. This means for most children, there is no need then for adaptation within the RTL policy, within the Ready to Learn policy. However, there are still some children who do require adjustments made to the policy for them. The Ready to Learn policy, as with the behaviour policy, as with every policy actually, is subject to reasonable adjustment for the child to ensure that we are meeting their needs. And that may be that we look at a different area of the school, although that is more difficult at the moment with the bubbles that we're operating around school, but it's something we're still managing to do. Maybe a different area of the school the child goes to. It may be a key adult that we're aware that they need to go to help them to regulate themselves. It may be a particular activity that a child needs to be able to do to help them to regulate. But again, as with my previous answer, really, it depends very much on the child and on their individual need. I mentioned kind of knowing the children as individuals when I spoke to you earlier. And I think that's key, actually, to understanding SEND provision and to what we do at St Catherine's for children who do have additional needs. So it's the answer, again, is as wide and varied as the number of children we have in, but we have a huge range of strategies to support children, and we do differentiate and adjust our behaviour policy and many other policies, actually, to support children, to allow them to access the full curriculum at school.
Okay, thank you. And then I think there's one there. Mr. Humphreys will probably answer. How many forms or students are there in Year 7? Mr. Humphreys or Mr. Moore, perhaps?
Yeah. So in Year 7, it's 6 form entry across all the year groups. So that's 30 students in the class, and that totals to 180 in each year group.
Okay, and I think you've already answered that one. We live in Brentry and Bristol. Can we apply via Bristol City Council? Yes, you can. And I guess for Mr. Humphreys, is there a realistic chance of my son getting in?
Yeah, so we have this question every year, and what I would say to you is that a number of students who do come to St Catherine's obviously live in catchment areas or just outside catchment area in the Bristol or surrounding area. What I will say is that if St Catherine's is your first choice, then you are highly likely to get in. What we find is that where families put us as a second or third choice, then it does become more of a lottery situation, and it's very difficult to predict in that way. So if you put us as your first choice, then you're highly likely to get in.
Okay, lovely. One for Ms. Crocker. What is your procedure regarding bullying?
Thank you, Mr. Francis Black. There are a few questions about bullying that I noticed in the chat, so I'll try and answer lots of them together. Maybe you can tell me if I haven't got them all. I said that safeguarding is everyone's responsibility, and that means that involves students too, and we've talked to students about their responsibility to tell someone. We make it as easy as possible for students to tell us what is going on for them, but also to allow them to report anonymously, if needs be, what they're worried about for their friends. So they can talk to any member of staff about anything they're worried about, and I am responsible for making sure that all staff have the right level of safeguarding training to make sure that when that happens, they can receive that disclosure in the right way, handle it so the student feels supported, and pass it on through the correct channels. Sometimes students or their families don't feel that they can report things in person, so we make it as easy as possible to get the information to the right people. You can email tellsomeone@skdrive.org if you're worried about anything. That includes bullying. Bullying is a safeguarding issue. But there's also on our school website an anonymous reporting form that you can fill in. Students can fill that in, their families can fill that in, as can members of the public, and that comes directly to me and the safeguarding team. And we're able then to field that, triage that concern, and put the right support in place for children. We've got a zero tolerance to persistent bullying at St Catherine's, but we're also aware that young people make mistakes. That means that last academic year we invested really heavily on training a huge number of students to be peer mediators so that children can support one another with issues just like bullying. We educate our children about mental health and well-being so they are familiar with the impact of bullying on other people. We also educate our children about hate speech, about equalities, and are honest and open in our discussions with that. In that, about mental health and wellbeing for our students, there's a huge range of support services online for our children to access if they need to, and that includes places to go if they're being bullied, which will refer them on to the right places.
Okay, lovely, thank you. Mr. Humphreys, there was a question there about transport and beyond the public transport system, how does school transport work?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I did mention that we've just secured a single provider for all our bus services at St Catherine's, which we're really pleased with, and is now a very reliable and safe service for all our students each day. We don't currently have an after-school service for our students. However, what we do find is that a number of families will always work together to arrange those lifts back through the friendship groups, etc., to get a lift home. However, we are in a new period now with the new bus provider that we have, and we are currently exploring this option and our school day as well, in light of some of the changes that we've had to make in light of the current situation. So we believe and are very much committed to looking at our school day and making sure that is integrated into the typical school day, which will then mean that there will be transport for all students as well. So that's should be an exciting development this year, which we're really looking forward to providing for all our students.
And for Mr. Moore, a question around transition. Would the students get to see the school before transition?
My answer is I sincerely hope so, and our intention is that they will. As with all things at the moment, this depends on government guidance, and it depends on how open we are allowed to be. We are now reopened as schools, so my expectation would be that towards the end of this academic year, we would be able to bring Year 6 in and we would run transition as normal. The caveat, obviously, is the age we live in and whether or not that is a possibility. We will be directed by the Department for Education. If schools are allowed to run transitions as normal and have Year 6 students in, then we absolutely will be part of that.
Okay, thank you. And one for Ms. Richards. How many lessons are students expected to attend in a day, and how long are the lessons?
So currently students attend 5 lessons a day, and each of those lessons are 55 minutes, which gives a little bit of time for students to transition nice and quickly around site.
Thank you. What happens when you get lost, Mr. Moore?
As a new member of staff, I can talk with some experience of this. It really isn't a problem. It will happen. And I'd be lying if I said that Year 7 students won't get lost. It's a fairly large site. They're moving from generally pretty small primary schools into an environment where they, in normal times at least, move around the site to a large extent. Children will get lost. The older children are incredibly friendly and helpful, so they can be asked, in normal times when we have year group bubbles mixing, they can be asked where you need to go. We have a student support office, which is right in the centre of school, and is really the go-to place if children have any problems, and that's that they may be lost. Particularly in Year 7, they may have lost their timetable and not be sure where they need to go. They may be feeling unwell. They may be concerned about any issue going on. The student support office will always be able to support and say, right, this is where you need to go. And if the student still doesn't understand it, we will take them to where they need to go. Students do not, in Year 7, there's absolutely no sanction or kind of punishment for being lost in school. It's an accepted part of arriving in a secondary school. And it's one that I've myself and indeed all members of new staff at St Catherine's will have at some point undergone. So we will help is the answer.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Moore, again, how do we deal with anxious children, especially where bullying is involved?
So I think Mrs. Crocker spoke kind of about the policies we have in terms of bullying and our approach to dealing with it. Anxiety is a completely normal reaction to moving from one setting to another, and it would be odd if children didn't feel anxious at the move from 6 to 7, and indeed at the move between year groups when they're within our school. So I mentioned earlier our incredibly strong pastoral team. We aim to very quickly build relationships with families and with children, so that we understand what's going on at home. The anxiety could be around an issue that's happening outside school, but also so that children feel they have somebody to come to and to speak to in confidence if necessary in school. So really it's the relationships we build, and it's one of our strengths as a school that we do have incredibly strong relationships through our houses that allows children come to us to express those anxieties and for us to support them with them. So it really is through our pastoral structure we'll deal with it. As I mentioned a moment ago, the student support office tends to be the go-to place. So if children are having a very difficult time, they'll come there and they'll then be directed to the member of staff that can support them, or the member of staff will be asked to come down and speak to them there.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. I was very disappointed to find out that we don't have a sorting hat to put children into houses. So how do we get them sorted into houses?
Sorry, that's me again. So houses, generally, we keep families within the same houses. And that's, again, going back to my previous slides, as part of that relationship building. We like the idea that our heads of house get to know families very well, get to understand family circumstances, get to know the challenges that some families may be facing, or the needs of particular children. So we try to keep siblings within the same house. And that is normally our first allocation. We'll then look at in fact, prior to that, we'll look at any serious concerns raised by primary schools. So we'll have contact with primaries about any children that should not, for whatever reason, be placed together. And after that, we try to give children as wide as experience as possible of their new school, which means that we will try and move children across the houses, so that in lesson time, they're meeting with new people, they are getting to know, to make new friendships, and kind of creating those relationships actually will go on for the 7 years that they're with us. Then at break and lunchtime, obviously everybody goes out and associates together.
Thank you very much. I'm just going to pass 2 questions back to Mr. Humphreys. Mr. Humphreys, how do our GCSE results rate in the league tables? And do we offer 3 separate sciences at GCSE?
Thank you, Mr. Francis Black. So in terms of the league tables, if you look on the DFE website, you will see us in the top 3 positions in the local authority, competing very well alongside those outstanding schools. So we're very proud of our results over the last few years, which have been consistently positive, both across our GCSEs and A levels, as I mentioned earlier. So some great progress there for all our students across all groups, as I mentioned. And then in terms of, sorry, what was the second question, Mr. Francis Black? Sorry, the triple science.
Yeah, do we offer the 3 separate sciences?
We do indeed. So we have a very inclusive approach to triple science as well. So we're really proud of the number of classes that we have doing triple science. So that's all 3 sciences. And 2 years ago, we made a significant more time in the curriculum for those 3 sciences as well. And that was, again, obviously been supporting the great progress that students now enjoy at science at GCSE. And we have very, very successful science groups now at A level as a result of that. So, yeah, science is truly flourishing at St. Catherine's.
Thank you. And for Mr. Humphreys again, were you oversubscribed last year for Year 7 admissions?
Yes, so we were oversubscribed, and that has happened now for the last couple of years. What I can't share with families, unfortunately, because it's dealt with by the local authorities, are the number of students who were turned down because they don't share that information. All we get is the number of students that have applied. So that is internal information in the local authorities. But what I do know is that the first choice places have secured a place at St. Catherine's.
Thank you. And what is the range of food available for hot lunches?
Yes, it's a wide range of food. We have outsourced our canteen provision in our incredible building at St. Catherine's School to Aspens. And if you look on our website, you will see the full range of menus on Aspens. So this was a piece of work that we did as a result of some student voice work. And our students report very favourably on the new provision that we've had in place now for a year. And we can continuing to evolve that. So full host of meals available with full menus on a 3-week rotation. So I couldn't start to share what those dishes are, but please take a look on our websites and you'll see that. And also we have our leaf upstairs, which I noticed there was a question on. So sadly, the leaf at the moment is not open, as you'll be aware of the challenges the hospitality industry is currently facing. However, this is obviously a great opportunity for our students who run the leaf, and we look forward to getting that open as soon as possible as the local climate is in a better place.
Okay, thank you. And for Mr. Moore, what are the implications of you now being part of the Cathedral Schools Trust?
I can answer this as somebody who's worked in the Cathedral Schools Trust for many years, but I've only been in St. Catherine's for a few months. I think one of the greatest things of being in the Trust actually is the sharing of knowledge and the sharing of pedagogy across the Trust. So we work very closely together to develop, whether it be currently our MFL curriculum, so our Modern Foreign Languages curriculum. Our head of MFL at St. Catherine's is working closely with the head of MFL at Bristol Cathedral Choir School to develop a shared curriculum across both schools. We have had children visiting, so going back and forth across schools to get an understanding of what happens and what they can expect in different places. Really importantly, actually, we are staff to transfer back and forth across schools. So not on permanent moves in terms of job moves, but to go in and shadow their counterpart in another school for the day, to get an understanding of best practice across the trust. It gives us the ability to move from a school which is fantastic in pedagogy, but with only a limited number of teachers, to becoming part of a trust that is fantastic at pedagogy with a huge number of staff. So we can draw on all of that experience. We can draw on the leadership skills from across the trust. And actually the collective power of the schools gives us the ability to respond collectively to some of the challenges that we face in modern education. So it's really about being able to deliver more for children and to be able to progress staff as they improve their pedagogy and work forwards.
Thank you very much. And for Ms. Richards, what does a typical timetable look like? Do all children study languages, art, music, sports, as well as the academic subjects? Is there any restriction on what they can choose for GCSE?
So yeah, all of our students have a really broad range of subjects at Key Stage 3. They all have the opportunity to study languages, humanities, for example, the arts, sport. And at Key Stage 4, as you'll see from earlier, they're able to choose subjects that they want to choose and that are fantastic opportunities for them. And we keep that open for them and support them to make the best choices possible.
Thank you. Mr. Humphreys, how do you ensure that the higher attaining are challenged?
Yeah, so that's been part of our work over recent years in making sure that that stretch is evident in all classrooms across all lessons and all year groups. And that has obviously been rewarding for us to see, because as we focused on that, obviously the progress of all groups, including the higher prior attaining group, have all been doing exceptionally well. And that's been feeding through both to our GCSEs, but also to our A-level results as well. So it's through that stretch program that we have within the school and within each classroom, in each year group, that we would expect to see provision for that in every single lesson.
Can I go still with you, Mr. Humphreys, on entry-level testing? Do we rely on primary school feedback and SATs, or do we have other entry tests?
Yeah, thank you. A good question. So we believe that we would use a range of data when we're assessing any young person to make sure that we capture a full picture about that child. So we would use the SATs information from primary schools when it's available, but we also engage in some testing that we do at St. Catherine's, which we call baseline testing, which involves some of the core subjects along with a reading test as well. And we would then use that data to work out where the strengths and weaknesses are for that child, and then obviously put provisions in place to try and close any gaps that were necessary. And we would use that to inform any setting that we had within the school as well.
Thank you. And Mr. Richards, what subjects do you stream students for and when?
So currently in maths, we ensure that we stream, but not necessarily straight away. So for example, year 7 are currently taught in mixed ability groups. And when we get to know them a little bit better and we're able to confidently suggest where they should go and where would fit best for them, we will do so. And from that point in maths, students are put into prior ability groupings, if you like. In terms of Key Stage 3, that's the main subject that we will stream for. And other than that, we will teach mixed ability.
Okay, thank you. And this question there about extracurricular activities beyond sports. Can you give us a flavour of the range of after-school activities?
Yeah, of course. So we've got fantastic opportunities in arts, music, drama. For example, photography club. We've got the choir. We've got dance and drama clubs, creative writing club. Lots of different things outside of the sports.
Brilliant, thank you. And for Mrs. Crocker, do you have a policy on phone use at school, and do you offer any sessions or training on social media use?
Yeah, St. Catherine's are a no mobile phone school. So students aren't allowed to have their phones out with them during the school day. We expect them to be off and in their bag. We understand how important it is for parents to be able to keep in touch with their children, especially those who are facing a long commute into school. So that's okay. When they arrive on the school site, phones go off and they're in their bag. And we know the importance of giving children a space from screen time, a break away from being on their phones in terms of their mental health and well-being. So we take that very, very seriously. And if students have their phones on or out during the school day, we'll confiscate them, keep them safe, and they can collect them at the end of the school day. We highlight Safer Internet Day each year. Students learn about online safety in computing lessons and elsewhere through the curriculum, and the pastoral team work hard around Safer Internet Day to make sure that students have the right messages so they can keep themselves safe online. And I regularly share information with parents about how they can keep their children safe as well. And we encourage parents to check their children's phones. We encourage parents to leave phones downstairs, to turn the internet off, all of the sorts of things. So I regularly share updates for parents when it comes my way, as platforms update their security settings and things like that, to make sure that all of our community work together to keep children safe online.
Okay, lovely, thank you. I'm just going to ask 2 more questions. There are lots and lots of questions coming in. We won't have time to answer them all, but we will endeavour to go through those questions and put together an FAQ sheet to send out following this event. So just 2 more, both to Mr. Humphreys. Mr. Humphreys, is there a deadline to apply, and do you filter applicants by when they apply?
So the deadline to apply is the 31st of October for the applications. And as I mentioned earlier, we don't have any access to any of the information that is supplied. That is controlled by the local authority. What we are given are the total number of students that we have. So we do not have any information on that process.
Okay, thank you. And then the last question, with COVID likely to be an issue for a long period, what additional precautions are you able to apply in your school?
Yeah, so we would hope obviously that this situation will not last for too long. However, we have you know, a wonderful site at St. Catherine's which we can take full advantage of in these situations. So we have been very pleased with the start of term in the bubble structure that we've got, because we have quite a modular site across St. Catherine's, so keeping our students safe within their bubbles, both in inside and outside space throughout the school day, with the staggered end and start. So that is working very well. We have many precautions and control processes in place, which I won't go through in any detail, but obviously, given the physical structure of the site, we're well placed to keep all the students safe. And I've had 4 great weeks of school at the start of the year term, and the year 7s have enjoyed every single moment that they've had since they stepped in September. And just picking up on what Mr. Moore said around getting students to see St. Catherine's, we do offer a 2-day induction program for year 7 students normally. And we managed to do this at the start of September this year. So we were unable to do it for obvious reasons in July, but we simply shifted that to September and delayed the start for other year groups so that they could orientate themselves around within the school. And we do have a number of students who come from one primary school, so they are the only student coming from that primary school. But what we find is that within the first couple of hours, they have new friends within their new tutor group, and they never look back. And that's one of the real joys of seeing that, because we probably have way into double figures of students coming from a single primary school, as you can see from the wide geographical area from which we have students attending St. Catherine's. So hopefully that allays any fears that people might have or any anxiety. They love St. Catherine's. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we're going to pass back to Mr. Moore now, who's just going to close things off for us.
So thank you all for joining us. That does bring us to the end of our open evening. We hope you found it informative and that we've been able to answer some of your questions. There are a huge number of outstanding questions, and we will go through those, as Mr. Francis Black said, and collate them into an FAQ sheet, which we will make available. I'm sure there'll be more questions raised as you have the time to digest the information that's been shared this evening. The school email address is on the screen now, so please do get in touch. We would welcome your contact if there's anything we've not been able to answer for you, or if there's anything that's not answered in the FAQs, which we will share on our website. The slides and presentations from this evening will also be shared on our website. Thank you for joining us this evening. We wish you and your children every success as they complete their final year of primary education. Good night.